The Evergreen Media Network Studios, brought to you by Evergreen Media, creating cohesive marketing campaigns. Evergreen Media in Vero Beach.
Honestly, without Treasure Coast Community Health, I think we'd be a much poorer community in terms of our health. We're always striving to fill the gap for everyone in the community, rich or poor.
Good afternoon and welcome to Community Conversations. My name is Vicki Soule and I am the CEO of Treasure Coast Community Health. And for those of you that aren't aware of us yet, we provide primary medical, dental, behavioral health, pharmacy, vision, a whole bunch of services at 8 different locations around town. And why do we do that? Because we want to make it easy for you to access those services regardless of where you live or where you work, so that you can keep up with your own health care without diving a whole big chunk out of your day. But every week, because I am so fortunate to live and work in this community with lots of other caring and sharing individuals, many of whom are nonprofits, it gives me the opportunity to talk with them and then say, gee, it'd be really nice if you could share that information with others, particularly in these days where not everyone is reading the newspaper. So today I have Shala Edwards, a new nonprofit. She'll tell us a little bit more. It's not brand spanking new, but it's still got a healthy glow on it.
Still the new kid on the block.
Well, you're catching up real quick. So Shala is in charge of the Treasure Coast Girls Coalition. So yes. With that intro, tell us a little bit more for those of us that haven't watched your progress in the last 2 years.
Well, first and foremost, thank you for having me back on the show. I was here very new in our organization, and it was just a wonderful experience. So thank you for having us
you're
back.
You're very welcome. It's a pleasure.
And Treasure Coast Girls Coalition is a grassroots education-focused nonprofit that educates, elevates, and empowers girls to be the best they can be. We do that through programs after school located on the campus of Gifford Middle School. Mm-hmm. And our programs consist of STEAM, which is science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. We teach digital literacy, and we also provide emotional intelligence support to the girls in our community. We work with students, female students between the ages of 9 and 18, starting out rising 6th grade, so those 5th graders that are entering middle school all the way through high school. And we pretty much primarily provide advocacy, support, and educational opportunities for those girls so that we can prepare them for the future workforce.
So basically, you're there for them.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them have working parents.
Mm-hmm.
They have perhaps younger siblings where more of the attention goes to them
mm-hmm.
than to the older girls.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they might even be the substitute mom for those younger siblings, and they need support as well.
They do.
So how did you come up with this idea?
I've always wanted to work in a program that focused on all females. Research showed me a long time ago that when females are in an academic setting together in one place,
mm-hmm.
there's a different opportunity of learning experiences. And me being a girl that is born and raised here in the community, I had very little family support. So a lot of what my childhood challenges were,
mm-hmm.
I made sure to implement in this program. So pretty much I'm the visionary, I'm the founder, mm-hmm. and I truly loved always working with young people, but girls and women are my passion. So
you have a couple of girls of your own, do you not?
I do. I have a daughter, and I also have a handful of bonus daughters that I love very, very much. And have been super supportive of what I do, and they have been my pilot students, and it's just been great. Like I spread myself really well with my children.
So. You do that, and you yourself went back to school, did you not?
I did. I have a bachelor's degree in organizational management from Indian River State College, and I'm also a graduate student at Lynn University in Boca, earning my master's in business. So,
good for you. So you are definitely modeling the behaviors that you would like these other young women to have as they grow up in Gifford.
Absolutely. And not just Gifford, community-wide. I am a very strong advocate of education. Mm-hmm. For me, education has been the bridge out of poverty. I had a very lengthy and very interesting childhood and I come from poverty, I will always own that. But my education is what allowed me to bridge out of it. And I want to make sure that I keep that pathway open for girls who have the same aspirations or some of the same aspirations to do the same.
When I first came to town, having lived in the greater Detroit area, I was of the impression that Gifford was primarily Black African-American residents, but that's not true. And I don't think that your group is mixed.
We're diverse. We're very diverse.
Old-fashioned word, diverse.
And
I'll get it.
I love that. I love. I'm a person of. I just love people, whatever background, whatever race, whatever ethnicity. And being born and raised in Gifford, I wasn't exposed to a lot of other diverse, individuals and programs and things like that. So me being able to earn my MBA and travel and do things across the globe has really opened my eyes to the diversity that exists. One of the things I do want to point out in STEAM is that women have the lowest population of STEAM careers. There's very little female engineers. There's a lot of female scientists that are underrated, but are really empowering the world and making a lot of difference in the world, especially in healthcare. So those are some of the reasons why I wanted to make sure that our girls have the aspirations and opportunities, because they do exist. They just don't exist enough.
Absolutely. So how many girls typically will show up, and is this a couple times a week?
So right now we have a program capacity of 20 students, and I would love to be able to do more with that. So that's why I wanted to come on the show and, invite people in. We really need some volunteers and some support to get this program thriving. We're going into our third year. For a nonprofit, for-profit model, we all know that your first few years are the most challenging. And I'm just really, really grateful for the community, people like you, Vicki, who have opened their doors and given me a seat at their table to provide support and to expand our reach. We have grown a lot in the last year or so. So much opportunity that without the community, I won't be able to do what I do. So I want to make sure that we always put out in the world that we are an open door community, we're diverse, and that we want all sorts of people from all educational backgrounds involved. So the girls can have, they can see across the board that what it looks like to be an inclusive community. And
that's so important that I have to ask again. There's no such thing then as a perfect volunteer for you. They don't have to be educated. I'm guessing that they have to be someone that the girls can share with.
Yes.
Look to for guidance. Right.
So lived experiences are just as important as educational backgrounds. So we want to make sure that every volunteer that we bring into our organization, especially those that work in direct capacity with our girls, they have something to give. And there's a lot of things in my childhood and my teen years that I experienced, one of them being domestic violence. So when we have a facilitator or a volunteer that comes in and wants to, share, hey, this is what I experienced in my younger years, that is also rich versus just having a donor or a volunteer coming in and donating time or resources. We want those lived experiences because they do matter.
And even if it is not self experienced, I think of Girl Scout leaders as I was growing up, and
leadership.
What an important part they had in my life, because they weren't mom,
right?
They weren't my aunt,
right? Somebody that you can relate to, and that somebody that you trust and that believes in what you're doing. Mentorship is a big thing. Had I not had mentors, I don't think I would have gone this far with my education. I don't think I would be in this place professionally. So that's one thing that I want to always provide to this organization for our girls is mentorship. Encouragement, so that they can see themselves as being capable of doing things that at whatever stage they're at age-wise, they haven't envisioned themselves being able to do that yet. Right. So is there a tutoring component with that? We do. We have some opportunities for academic support, and that's where we're trying to reach our retired and active educators. Education is one of those things that right now a lot of our children are struggling with. The academic achievement gap is really severe.
Yes.
So I'm forced to pay attention to that. Yes, we provide educational opportunities, but when you have students who are struggling to read literacy, that's one of the things that I think that I don't want to push a student to college or into a career when they're really not prepared on the academic standard side. So tutoring is a really important component of that.
Well, and there's also that reality that not everyone starts in college after high school. Some will do more of a trades, whether it's being
the technical careers.
Yeah, being a beautician can then later provide that income so that they can go back to school. And again, laying some of that pathway out for them.
Right.
Because most folks do not have the opportunity to get massive scholarships to pay for their first, second, fourth year.
Exactly. When you come from generational poverty, one of the things that I've noticed from personal experience is that there are no financial resources set up for you to succeed.
Right.
So a lot of our African American and Hispanic communities automatically go into debt trying to earn their education. If you're not an athlete, if you don't have a paid way out, it's very, very hard to attain that. So that's why I want to make sure that those technical and career options are available. And one of the programs that I implemented was Culinary Arts, which is our food truck. There's a lot of opportunity in catering and learning the science of food, becoming a chef, running your own company, providing catering services. So that was one of the reasons why I implemented the food truck into the program. But number one, for them to learn customer service, basic cash handling, debit and credit card transactions and things like that. But just to understand that college may be beyond your 2 years after you graduate high school. You know what I mean? And if that's the need be, cooking will pay your bills.
Exactly. Because as ideal as it sounds, I'm going off to college, as you say, then you go immediately into debt because you still have to be fed. You still have to pay for a roof over your head, whether it's a dorm or an apartment that you're sharing with others. Those bills go on. And so having a trade that's flexible, whether it's phlebotomy, working at a hospital, on second or third shift, or being a hairdresser, or 101 other things like catering that you could do nights and weekends. So did you have a catering background, just out of curiosity?
I do. I was a food and beverage manager. My first job was a server at 14, and it has been something that has really served me well. It allowed me, I'm an introvert, just so you know.
Yeah, I know.
Nobody really understands it because I'm always out front talking. But
I've seen people grab you out front. That's okay.
And I follow because the soft skills that I acquired from working in food service served me really, really well in life. Yes, being able to walk into a room and own the room and make eye contact and shake hands and work with people who don't look like me, that has been very good for me. So, and I like cooking. I actually can cook. I've burned a couple of things, but I washed the pot really fast and put it away and did better the next time. So, and when you pour too much salt or you use too much sugar, next time, okay, what am I going to do differently? So.
And you pass all those lessons on to the girls.
I do.
You let them
fun.
do it.
Like it's something that's really fun. So.
Well, we're going to take a short break for a word from our sponsors. And when we come back, we'll talk about more fun things with your girls. Treasure Coast Community Health in-house pharmacies have the lowest prices in Indian River County, even lower than big box pharmacies. Taking your medication as prescribed leads to better health. Affordable medicine makes it easier. Treasure Coast Community Health patients can pick up medicine as they leave the office or use free delivery and mail order services. Pharmacists are always available to answer questions. Switch to TCCH pharmacies. Save money, stay healthy. 772-257-8224 and ask about our price match.
If you dream of creating a home with furniture where you make life one long weekend, visit Sunshine Furniture now and save 50% on all Tommy Bahama and Lexington during the fall savings event. Bedroom, living, and dining room, home office, media, and occasional furniture that is inviting and comfortable, Tommy Bahama and Lexington offer everything you need to furnish your Florida home. We're also having a huge half-price fall sale on lots of other coastal furniture by Universal, Hooker, Riverside, Seawinds, and Capri, including big sales on patio furniture by Berlin Gardens, Lloyd Flanders, Telescope, Kingsley Bait, and Windward. All pictures, lamps, and accessories are half price, and in-stock rugs are on sale too. Sunshine Furniture, $12.95 US 1 in Vero Beach next to Planet Fitness. Visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com and be sure to shop our outlet store directly across the street.
Sunshine Furniture, the best in every way. Having sunshine, yeah. Sunshine.
It's time to call Easy Brew Coffee and Bottled Water Service and learn just how much you can save and how convenient it is to have your coffee and bottled water delivered right to your home or office. In addition to water coolers, Easy Brew offers individual bottles of water in 8 or 16-ounce bottles. No more lugging it home or dragging it into the office. Serving the Treasure Coast for over 2 decades, 2 letters, 1 simple name. Easy for Easy Brew. Visit e-zbrew.com or call 800-792-3285. Easy Brew.
Welcome back to Community Conversations. If you're just joining us, my name is Vicki Soule, and I am the Treasure Coast Community Health Leader. That means I write the checks and everybody else does the really hard work. So a big shout out to all of my staff for doing the wonderful things that they do every day for almost 30,000 individuals that come to us for care. Over 120 visits annually amongst our locations in Indian River County. But a lot of what we do also is shared by the nonprofits that we work with. And so today, if you're just joining us, Shala Edwards is here to talk about Treasure Coast Girls Coalition. Mm-hmm. Girls that are between 9 and 18 years old come under your wing for mentoring, STEAM education. Mm-hmm. What am I forgetting?
Digital literacy and emotional intelligence.
There you go. So you have been in existence for not quite 3 years, mm-hmm. and one by one, as barriers are identified, mm-hmm. you seem to be like pushing them off. Tell us about some of those things that maybe were expected or unexpected.
Well, the main barrier that we face is human capital. Mm-hmm. We are a brand new nonprofit to the community under 3 years. And one of those challenges that we face most is having support, either through admin, program support, transportation, things like that. So honestly, Wednesday is October 11th is International Day of the Girl. And that gives me the opportunity as the founder of this organization to go out and spread the good things about the community and how it is reaching back to girls. So we want to make sure that we highlight that day with information and education surrounding girls and what challenges they face, as well as our organization. So
that's wonderful. So we talked about your need for volunteers mm-hmm. earlier, and we really didn't define for a volunteer what kind of time commitment would be easiest for both parties to handle.
We really ask our volunteers to commit to an hour a week, working with that student, doing well checks, checking in, making sure that they are meeting their academic guidelines of their the standards of education, and then also to providing some mentorship in other areas that they may need. Mentorship remains the number one goal for our organization because it shows success long term. And when we talk about return on investment, we want to make sure that whatever time or whatever resources that we're putting into this organization, on the other side of it, mm-hmm. you have your future female leaders. So leadership as well.
So it sounds a little bit like Big Brothers, Big Sisters, mm-hmm. but you've really got a heavy emphasis on two things in my viewpoint. Mm-hmm. One is leadership, showing the girls how they can develop into leaders, mm-hmm. which may or may not happen as part of the mentorship under boys, Big Brothers, Big Sisters. Mm-hmm. And the other thing is that it seems like you guys do a lot of group activities with the girls. We do.
Okay. We try to make it all... a lot of it is a group component, but we also look at the individual girls. Some of our students on the individual side are really struggling in other areas other than academic support and mentoring, and that is behavioral health. Okay. So that's something that we've been forced to pay attention to, especially on the other side of the pandemic, Well, a lot of our students are having some issues with bullying at school, either bullying or being bullied.
Okay.
And then social skills. A lot of our students are really struggling on the social side and are having some challenges that I, as a founder, have had to pay close attention to. With girls, they remain the highest population related to suicide. So it's something that I can't ignore.
Absolutely. And so do you guys have like group discussions about feelings and coping mechanisms and those types of things yet?
We do, and that's where I really could use some help at and some insight. You know what I mean? Because I feel like in this community, looking at the community needs assessment and looking at where we're at as a community as a whole, mental health remains a great challenge. So yes, we want to do the group thing, but we also want to focus on take the holistic approach and focus on what does this student need? Where can I meet her at?
Okay. And it would be wonderful if we had enough professionals in our community to be able to take care of even those that are, as somebody once said, in the deep end of the pool as opposed to the shallow end, with depression or anxiety or, as you say, bullying. You know, a lot of different things are factoring in. But unfortunately, during and after COVID, we saw a lot of people move out of healthcare, including those that are counseling. And truthfully, teachers and healthcare are the two occupations where enrollment in colleges have just nosedived, because it's such a tough job.
It's a tough job. It's very heavy. It
is. And when you see other relatives getting out of it, as a young person, you're not necessarily encouraged to say, yeah, I want to be just like Aunt Sally. Oh, she quit doing that. And now she's catering or whatever, you know. So it means that we all need to kind of rise to the occasion as individuals, even if we don't have that formal training as a licensed clinical social worker. If we have been a Girl Scout leader or someone who has dealt with other, as you call them, life experiences, and just willing to give up that hour a week for that one individual to be a trusted soul that they can call, even if it goes outside of that 1 hour boundary.
Right. And most people have more than an hour, but that's the minimum that we ask because we know that everybody has so many other things that they're doing right now. But that one caring adult in the community that's willing to do a well check or a check-in and say, how are you doing? You know, what do you need? Is there something I can help you with? And we bridge those resources together to provide more opportunities for the girls, but they all really could use some one-on-one support. So,
and we have a number of people that are moving into our community.
Yes.
And so that's not a pre-requirement, is it, that they know about our community? They just have to be able to relate to teenage girls, which is a special skill set, I have to admit. I have 5 boys and 1 girl, and
I'm not going to say anymore. My 13-year-old is that one. that is one. Enough for me.
That's right. But they are special, and you know, if you're not real thin-skinned, you really can make a great impression in terms of come to me and you talk.
Yes.
Okay. And I promise I won't laugh. I won't eye roll. I wonon't get angry at anything you say. So if you have those special skill sets and an hour or 2 a week, that would be wonderful.
It would.
I'm assuming that you don't have a lot of snowbirds at this point. But
not yet. They're on their way back. But snowbirds provide a lot of opportunity for us as well because they are the ones that are retired and can give more time and give more knowledge and expertise. So not only are we looking for mentors to the girls, if there's some opportunity to get involved in the program that they don't prefer to work in direct capacity with students, we have some board seats open as well. So
very good to know. So how do they get a hold of you, Shala?
Our website is www.treasurecoastgirls.org, and you can go there and hit on the Get Involved link and send us some information, and we'll connect. So
that's wonderful. Thank you so much for being here today, and thank you that are out in our listening audience. Help spread the word. It's a great community because everybody does a little, and as Grandma used to say, many hands make the work light. So. And it really is not work when you're having fun with the girls. So you've proven that. Thank you so much for what you're doing.
Thanks for having me.
All righty. We'll be back next week for another very interesting individual from around our own community. Take care and have a good evening.